I actually signed the Rome Statement back in 2000. And we're the last country that is finally about each other. So this has been a long overdue. We promised then that we will, in solidarity, help each other to make Europe whole and free. And finally, I think we're close to that line of certainty. For us, this is essentially one of the two biggest strategic goals since our independence in 1991. In 1993, the Parliament said we all together, consensually, we would like to be part of the alliance. We have 84% of our public opinion is in support of this strategic direction. So it really feels special that after all these years, first of all, this is something business. It's good to finish business. And I feel privileged to have a finger in making sure that the next generation will have a more reliable, more stable, more predictable country. So we extend the zone of stability in a region that still needs more stability. So it's very special to be part of this process and to build friendship with our neighbors. I don't think there is a more natural state of play than to have the biggest support coming from your neighbors. And as Jens said to the joint session of Congress today, it is good to have friends. So what we did is by understanding each other, covering the basic interest concerns of the other and respecting the other, we managed to overcome this issue in a way that now we are in the same boat. And we would like to have a great neighbor, and I think they would like to have a prosperous neighbor as well. So this was not easy, and it took leadership of the Europeans to think more about the next generation and less about the next elections. We think that strength is about how strong your military is, how strong your economy is, but also about how many friends you have, how close those friends are, and how willing are they to engage when you need them in times of need. So I think even as a non-NATO member, as a country, as a partner country, we've been part of the burden sharing throughout these years. In Afghanistan, we were at one point the fourth per capita contributing nation. So we gave more than our weight. And I think that willingness to be part of a collective effort is what really matters. Then not to forget that the first ever intervention of the alliance was actually in our region in 1999. And we provided logistic support for that intervention. And what we make in making North Macedonia more stable is we extend zone of stability in a region that caused NATO to intervene in 1999. It will have a calming influence in our neighborhood. Back in Bucharest, we had a defense spending of over 2% of our GDP. Then our previous leadership lost its compass, and they essentially used, George talked about nationalism, I call it shallow nationalism, that is usually self-defeating, exactly of the national interest purports to defend and promote. So it dropped, and now we are committed to bringing it back over 2%, and also making sure that how we spend is worthwhile for the alliance. We talked about the Vilna statement. It's also an incomplete story. And I think the enthusiasm I see in the Coptic Senate is fully bipartisan, enthusiasm among many allies, and 29 is actually a less stable number than 30.
You were arguing for round numbers?
So
I think that works. The military station is so high. Round numbers. Round numbers.
this, as I said, this is about our people. And I'm actually offended when some countries or analysts, they say that we are doing someone else's agenda. This is about making our own country more stable in the company of the countries that care about individual liberties, about the rule of law, and about democratic institutions. That's also strength. How democratic and how functional checks and balances are, and institutions are, judiciaries, independence, media freedoms. So we do this for ourselves. We have the full support of our people. 84% of our citizens support us joining NATO. And while back in 2008, for instance, this was not quite an issue for Moscow, it is not a secret that we have had a steady stream of press releases, public statements coming from Moscow saying against the agreement, that this was not, all kinds of criticism. I tell them openly, I speak this publicly and also behind the scenes, this is good for the stability of the region, it is our decision. And at some point, it's going to be a question of leadership and time. We need to talk to each other. And we, the alliance, as the next 30th member states, I'm hoping I'm going to have that right by December this year to speak also on behalf of the alliance. And this understanding will have to be, of course, based on some important principles of international law. But we have to engage. And even if we don't improve the relationship, we still need to talk. So I can also mention only one point on the referendum campaign. We don't know where this came from. But I learned this word from digital experts. We had a lot of non-genuine internet traffic in the social media. And the perception in the bubble of the social media, there was a huge gap between the reality of the streets in terms of protests, etc., and the tension and the boycott camp and the euphoria against the agreement in the social media.
I think the French government had a very similar feeling.
So this we noticed. We heard some new political players with some Russian flags protesting against the agreement. They're very marginal. So this is what we've seen. But we know where we're going to go. The direction is there, and we are moving in that direction. And this is good. Stability is good for the Balkans, it's good for Europe, and we will continue to convince everyone that this is a good thing. Partly responding, but I will definitely go directly to that question as well. I think what we bring, we have a fresh view of a country that is about to enter. And we know that outside it's cold. And you feel lonely. You walk alone. So I think countries on the inside, there is a complacency. Because being there for so many years, you forgot how cold it is on the outside. This enthusiasm, I think we would like to spread also among founding members and connect it to the question of migration. We had the war in Syria that we couldn't deal with properly, we the world. And this, I was then based in the Netherlands, and the sense was that this is far and it won't affect us. And then the migration crisis exploded in 2015 and 16. So the world, our world, is getting smaller and it's more interconnected. It requires more joint action. And the responsibility is shared on all of these fronts, the root causes. And we don't have the luxury of not dealing with problems. We need to face problems, invest if we need to invest in more defense spending, because we need strength to have peace, and do things. I don't think we are very experienced in waiting now. We have had 18 MEP cycles as a country in preparation. I don't think we will take this finally crossing the line, getting the membership for granted. And the actual goal is not to become a formal member. The actual goal is to become a country that has strong, functional democratic institutions, that is a reliable, predictable partner, so that Athens, Washington DC, Berlin can reach out to us and say, we need you here and there, in the region, beyond the region. So I think this is the goal. It's not the formal, but it will help to finally get some benefits out of the burden sharing as well. It's a two-way street, of course.